All right. We're back on it again. The Korg Volca kick. Now I'm really, like I said before, I love this Volca, but some of the things I'm having a problem with. Let's go ahead and get it powered on here. Is once like I said before, the metronome. I wish it had a metronome. The other thing it doesn't have is bars. There's no bars. So because there's no bars on here, really the only trick that you can, have or really do is to play with your tempo. So instead of doing 80, you drop it down to 40, or if you got a beat that's 160, you do it at 80 to allow yourself the time to put in more steps. Because unfortunately, they designed this in such a fashion that it just doesn't have it. So I'm really guessing that the main thing they were looking for when they made this is to be an accompaniment, because it's a kick. So I guess they weren't thinking that people were gonna get this and I guess play with it by itself. That's the only thing that really makes sense to me as to why it doesn't have bars and a metronome. So it is what it is. As everything is, as far as gear. This is the box that they have created, and so you have to create inside this box. Does it make it does that weigh in the factor of not getting it or no? Absolutely not. It's still a no-brainer. It's definitely a vocal that you must have. If you are a fan of the vocals, then of course you're gonna get this. Of course you are. You're not gonna, if you have the keys and the beats and the bell. Why would you not get this? Unless maybe you got the Vermona or something that's really dope. So if you got one of them, then okay, I understand. But you're not gonna go wrong with getting this. So no bars, but you're gonna have to do with the tempo and deal with that. I kind of just wish it did have the bars, because that would allow you to have more motion in a sequence. So what I have found to kind of get around that is to actually have a sequence laid out and then play along with it to kind of add motion. So they automate quite well. So you can pretty much automate, like the touch effects for the rolls or whatnot. You can play that and kind of, use that as to create some motion and actually just create some different kind of sounding feels. I think on the other video I posted, I was able to do some things that I didn't plan on doing. It kind of worked out nice. So, yeah, so you have to deal with that with the tempo and no metronome. You're going to have to get inside that step mode. Once you have it hooked up to other gear and synced up, then that won't be an issue. So it's a small workaround, but you will have to work around it. Outside of that, the Volca kick is probably one of the more simpler Volcas. I mean, it's really when you dive into it, looking at it. I mean, you have. Let me back this out the way. You got your roll. So you got different times for roll. You got this octave up. You got sustain. You got your motion sequence on and off. And you got your active step, accent, slide, bend. I mean, so it's not a whole lot. Then you can do some things with your bend, reverse, and your slide. The touch effects is initially I thought it was just this, because the roll is a part of the touch effects, but I guess actually I believe So this 1 octave up, that's the touch effect. So 11 seems to be like a muted, some kind of muted effect. See how it's taking the release down, the decay. It's making it choppy. Let's see what 12 do. Okay, so 12 just catches it. So you can't record that automation, which I wish you were able to. And just to make sure I got it on, you see that it is on right there. And it would not allow me to record that. You can't have step mode and touch effects on at the same time. $13. It's gonna get, I don't know, some kind of filter effect on one of the notes. Okay, 14. Makes a little. So this is like the last step where it, both same steps, it seems like. This is just a mute all touch effect that you can just it'd be nice if you could record that, but unfortunately they won't let you record that. So some of the automations, or not all of the automations, will you be able to record, unfortunately. So that is what it is. But as far as everything else, though, this is a pretty simple Volca. However, with creativity in the automations, you can create some pretty sophisticated grooves, or I'll say a motion bar, if you will. And then as far as the sound, you can go all the way up to this Tweety Bird, kind of, I mean, it's just, this is just to call it just a kick is really, I think, an understatement. This is like bonus, all of that kind of stuff right there, just little blips and bloops and whatnot, video game sound and bird noises and whatnot. So yeah, that's it. I just wanted to give an update on where I'm at in terms of this instrument, and my love for it is as strong as it ever was. It hasn't weakened at all due to these few little snafus, if you will. This thing is dope. I mean, I really love this Volca. I could even see, because eventually I want to have 2 of all of them. Definitely 2 keys and 2 kicks. But But that's it. Fade to black.